on behalf of Mohammad MSAJAA Academy of Architecture, I welcome our Dean and Advisor, Professor Muhammad Harris, our Principal, Professor Muhammad Idris, HOD and Convener, Professor Satish Kumar, Professor Samad, our Design Chair, fellow architects, faculties, and students, to the final lecture of the webinar series organized by Mohammad MSAJAA Academy of Architecture. Today we have Architect Judah discussing with us on the topic, an approach towards sustainable architecture. This program will be moderated by Architect Divya Raga and Architect Anceline Jacob, Assistant Professors of MSAJAA. Architect Judah, after completing his civil engineering diploma in 2010, he joined BR course, and during the 5-year BR course, he did his internship with Varsha and Pradeep Architects. And after he had completed his BR, he started working for a commercial firm. And during and he was working there until 2017. And during this period, he got trained with Bhumija Creations from Kerala, where he could work with materials like bamboo and earth. And also he explored the sustainable lifestyle. So at present, he is working as an assistant professor for Crescent School of Architecture. So I invite Architect Judah Michael to start the presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. I thank Mohammad MSAJAA Academy of Architecture, Dean Professor Harris, Principal Professor Idris, HOD Professor Satish, and Architect Anceline, ma'am, and Divya Raga, ma'am, Architect Divya Raga, ma'am, for inviting me. And thank you one and all architects who are present here. So I'll start with my presentation right now. Yeah, my screen is visible, ma'am.
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah, okay. So, an approach towards sustainable architecture. So, why sustainability is matter? These terminology matters today. So that is where we are going to focus on. So, ultimately, the life on Earth and the purpose of all the living beings on Earth, and how each other impacts, and how universe works. Everything is like goes hand to hand from micro level to macro level. So basically, a few images I have shared in the left where you can see like good landscape with water body, and where you people must have been visitors to such places where you will find more naturally you will be feeling the comfort level, and how you can connect with the nature. So that is the right thing I can tell you. And if you see the same images where you see people who are going in the road, and you see they are not able to breathe the air which is in the city, and the same where you see in the night where the city is not visible. And these things are basically what's happening around, and where we can visually feel there is something which is not happening right now. So I did a course on the age of sustainable development by Professor Jeffrey D. Sachs. So he's like a leader in sustainable development, senior UN advisor, and the course is free for all. It's from Columbia University in the city of New York. It's available in various apps. So, what is UN Sustainable Development Goals? Basically, it is like these are the 17 goals which they are following, where each topic like poverty, zero hunger, you have good health and well-being. These are the terminologies are new, like quality education, gender equality, okay, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, and climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, strong institutions, partnerships for the goals. So, there has to be some quantitative and qualitative measures, to control like whatever the various damage has done before. So where the UN has this kind of approach, where they will give a rank to each country. So if you see in below, I have given only 4 countries like Sweden, Denmark, Finland, and India. India is in like 117 position. So there will be a score. So why I'm saying this, I have mentioned few countries like Sweden, Denmark. I'll come again. So what is sustainability? Sustainability is like we have to meet our own needs without compromising the ability of the future generation meeting their own needs. It's like future generation means like after 50 years, after 100 years, what will happen to Earth? So that is our main focus here. It's not something related to one particular thing. Like if you take this chart, it's like you have like 3 pillars of sustainability, where we talk about economy, where we talk about environment, and where we talk and society. Society is us basically, and economy is like how we buy things, or how everything is happening around the world. Is like when you give some reward, they will give something for you back. So that is economy. And environment is something which is like more important, equally important to equivalent to economy and the society. So when these things are like
excuse me, Judah sir, I don't. We can't see the slides moving. If you have moved the slides, it is not visible for us.
Okay.
We are still at the approach towards sustainable architecture.
Okay, 1 minute. Ma'am, now it's visible?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry for the inconvenience. So these were the three things I was talking about, like society, economy, and environment. So these, if you take a stool, okay, imagine you have a stool where it has 3 legs. So you take one as economy, one as environment, one as society. So society is basically environment. Environment is like nature, and economy is like, environmental is not nature. Environmental is where we are right now. So the economy is like what we the power value of things we buy and other like we trade and other things. So that is economy. So these 3 things has to be even. When it's even, then it's called sustainable. When it's not even, when you say your economy is like okay, you are cutting down all the environment, and there is no social equity, but you have too much economical boost, and it's not sustainable again. When you have these things are like wired up. So if something goes wrong, in between these three things, you will find lag in sustainable development or the sustainable part of it. So quickly I'll go through next topic is like why I told you about India, Sweden, and Denmark and Finland. So this particular architect from Copenhagen. So he works on urban design and strategies related to his own chart by his own foundation, where he talks about what makes a great place. So he talks about sociability, user activity, linkages and access, comfort and image. So it is like more advanced versions of the whatever urban design which we have been seeing for years. So if you scrutinize this, you can understand, like if you take sociability, he has given subtopics like welcoming, interactive, friendly, pride, neighborly, cooperative, stewardship, diverse, and same way if you take user activities, fun, active, vital, special, real, useful, indigenous. Like indigenous is right now the terms are like right now popping up everywhere, like tribal people and other things. So like celebratory and sustainable. So what he is trying to say is like if you mix indigenous, celebrity, and sustainable, you will get a retail sale. Example, you have a tribal people who's selling a product from the forest, and it can be like in the retail market, which will be more sustainable approach. Okay, so whatever he tries to connect here through this chart, okay, is a way of approach how a sustainable urban city has to be. So he works in many countries like US and Copenhagen, Denmark. So these are his strategy, and these six topics he covers from the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So that are like sustainable cities and communities, reduced inequalities, good health and well-being, responsible consumption and production, climate action, and partnership for the goals. So these things he has like focused upon and came to this complexity, of approach. So similar way, there is something, another thing is going on, straight away these people are like not coming up to solution that this is what is going to happen, but these are the solution are based upon few scientific data where eventually if we have more global warming effect, and when these sustainable things are not going well, when your three points of sustainability are not going well, eventually the glaciers will melt, and you will be under the water. The most of the places will be under the water. So big architects, Jack Ingalls has given this proposal, okay, oceanic city. So where you can see visually how he has made a like solar panel communities over the water which is floating, where you have green and you can make food out of it, you make energy out of it. Okay, so he considered sun as the major energy, and he created this whole city on water. So why I am showing you these two things are like why these architects are like coming up with this kind of solutions. Even if you take Tesla or who manufactures electric cars, and if you take there are projects which are going to happen in Mars where people are going to occupy Mars. So why these topics are coming popping up is like is the meaning of like we are not in the way or lifestyle which will lead in a prosper way. So we will no, we will fall in short end where the simulations and other things show us like how this water, the glaciers will melt, and the water level will increase, your air pollution level, and drinking water is like already is depleting. So all these things are like related to this question. And why is sustainable architecture? So our industry is the most polluting industry I will consider right now, which is immensely using the materials which are against the against the nature's order. So whatever material we are using are right now in commercially or which they promote as cheaper material, or like, okay, if you take asbestos, okay, asbestos or cement, whatever material you are getting right now. So these materials are not good for us basically. If you take asbestos, it has some amount of radiating elements in it, where you will end up maybe you will end up with cancer or something like that, because the eventually the sun is the only energy source which gives us like immense free cost of energy. So if you are not using that in the right way, where your warmer place will become more warmer, more hot, where your colder place will become more colder, and it's like extreme ends you can see in the climatic change and other things. So so excessive use of this material. So cement, where the cement is coming from? Cement is basically it's a form of state where it's coming from below the earth, where you club 4, 5 or 6 materials, you get a product called cement in a bag, and eventually you pour water and you make it into a solid state, and it's irreversible state, where you can't bring that into a material like mud, which will be useful for us to eat and produce food. So such material usages are causing and we never cared about this. Many people have never cared about this, and the usage of these kind of materials, they never thought about this. Many people are not aware about this. That's the problem. So this single term, I'll take you through this single term: carbon footprint, CO2 emissions. Okay. So if you see the chart, like what the industry have cost, where you can see in the blue line where you see the below part is like years of years, where like 1750, 1800, 1850, 1900 till 2050 that they have shown, but till 2000 they have shown the chart. So what is rest of the world? What is the industry they are trying to say? It's like carbon emission and whatever we burn, like how we travel. We travel using the fuel, basically fuel. Fuel is made out of what? Our material is coming through vehicles. How it will travel? It's a fuel. Basically, it's a fuel. You're using a non-renewable source and depleting it, and you're not using much of the renewable, energy. So that's where the things are like spiking up. Like you see, like million tons of carbon emission, which is caused by the industry alone. From if you see why it's going to the peak and it's saturated from 1950s, like after war, what happened was like every industry has started their own production. Okay, today if you buy a product, everything will be like industrial based. None of the product will be directly, it will be oriented toward well-being, or it will be oriented towards any sustainable principles in the market, in the shop. I mean, it will be available, but it will not be in for sale in the shop or in the retail market where you see. And if you see again, you see another chart where our lifestyle, that red chart is like our lifestyle, where slowly from 1900s, 1850 itself, we started like the emission of carbon started increasing. See, CO2 levels naturally it will be present in the earth. Okay, what plants are producing in the night is like carbon. In the day, they consume carbon. There is a balance in the nature where the nature will take back the carbon which it has emitted, or you are emitting, but the level, the emission level is like popping out more rather than the production of consuming the carbon. So that is where we are going to lag in few years. So this is a few data I'll run through, so you can understand what's happening. So if you take this chart where the global population is spiked up, like previously we had war, we had loss of men and families, but eventually after the war, the population growth is like going very, very, very up. And so when the population goes up, your gross domestic production, or the products which has been used by the people, us, so it also eventually goes up. So even the usage of fossil fuel, or the way of our lifestyle have led to this kind of like spike in in the chart, where from 1900 to 2000 you can see so much hike in the chart, in the graph, where it was like almost almost like balanced. But when you see in this 1800, why there is a hike in 1800 is like in 1800 to 1900 we people concentrated more on cultivation, agriculture. So where we started using all the forest lands to agriculture based, then after a point where we left the forest land, eventually the forest would have started popping in the middle of the middle of the countries. So that is about like carbon footprint, where how we have ended up in so much. So why this 2020 alone, it's like going below, is like when the pandemic hits, so you eventually the usage of oil fuel reduces. The you can't see the people on the road, and the flights have stopped, and whatever source of non-renewable energy which we have regularly consuming on has gone down. That's why we can see some slight difference over here in the chart, where if you see from 1970 you will see a great growth, where like we have gone from like consuming like 10, 20, 30 millions of tons to 150 millions of tons, like almost 150. So once this lockdown ends, what is our lifestyle? We'll hit back to the same one which we are following before, because everything runs here in a cycle. So nothing stops when each and individual changes. So same way, I have put this chart where you see like various countries. And if you compare these countries, if you take United States, very if you take United States, it will be like very smaller to India if you compare the land size, and if you compare the population. If you take Japan, Russia, and China, see, so if you check the land population size, it will be like varied, but their usage of the fossil fuel and the non-renewable energy is like very high. So the atmosphere ppm levels and carbon dioxide emissions from the fossil fuel burning will be like very high. So that's why I have shown this chart over here, where you see India is like what these developed countries are saying. You say US as a developed state country. So what they are trying to say, don't follow us. Take a shortcut stand still, look where you're going in 30 years. Example, where you will be in 2030, 35, 40, 45. If you continuously run the economy in the same way, if you continuously use the non-renewable source in the same way, imagine a country like India, which has like 1,000 above million of population, where lesser state like US, when you compare this graph, will like more than China, will like China will go up. So we are not in that bad level because our land parcel is big, and whatever we have cost is comparatively less to the United States. So these are the few data. Like again, whatever the daily basis we are products we are using, and how the emission is happening around, like our refrigerators, our the coolant oil, and the methane emission from this animal industry, where we consume more of animal-based products, and few terminology I have mentioned here, and which are like carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane, and so ppm is like parts per million, and ppb it's like parts per billion. So where you see like the year here mentioned below, and the level of increasing in that carbon emission and methane level and nitrous oxide level is like going up very, very high, which we are not done for so many years. We are not done for like 1,500 years, which we are doing right now, and it will be like unimaginable damage which we are causing right now. So most of us would have heard like greenhouse effect, or how our ozone is depleting, and this is how we end up in this theory, this concepts called how our cities are getting warmer, and if you compare to rural and urban will be like more hotter than the rural in the morning, which is like surprisingly, when the sun goes down, your temperature has to go down, right? But eventually the temperature is like maintained to a certain level, where next day morning you will be having a hike of 4 to 5 degrees in the morning. So basically, what material we use in the road, what material we use in as a roof material, these create more impact. We try to build, eradicate the land parcel. We try to build something, and we try to deplete the natural landscapes, and we try to build something on it which is completely artificial, where the radiation level will go high and your temperature level will go high. So once all it is done, and you will have a warmer city, and you will come up with a solution which is like not from the bottom to top. It will be from the top. It will be like from the top to bottom. It will be simple things like people say you can whitewash your terrace, or if you use certain products, if you use some paints, your temperature will go low. If you buy certain products, the inside of your the indoor comfort level will be better. If you use some air conditioning with good energy star rated, and you will end up with comfort level inside. But what it all cost will be like the what you see in the chart. It will not go down. That's if you want to hit the right place, it has to be from the bottom to top, not from the top to bottom. So each topic I'll cover. Next is after carbon emission, I'm going to talk about air. So how much level of damage has been done just with a material called cement. Okay, this material cement, it's like from the past, we have not stopped using it, but eventually we have increasing the usage amount. And you know, and we never had any bylaw or any particular law for it. You have to use certain products in our country or this thing. If you take Singapore, they have the if you take asbestos, the same material which you get for some very less price over here, it will be much more costlier than that. That means bad products are costlier, good products are less. That's how government has to, set the rates for this material, and that's how the lifestyle has to change. People has to be aware of what they are using. So using plastic is not bad, but how the cycle has to go and how it has to follow the cycle has to be followed. That is where we are lagging. We are good users of the product rather than we never follow the cyclic process of it. So if you take cement, then if you see the chart from 1960, we have been slowly we are gradually increasing. Now we have we are emitting in a good level. So eventually we will not stop using cement for few more years, where we will end up in even more hotter cities, and you have to find a place where to dump all this the cement buildings and other things. But once the life of the building ends, any whatever you design, whatever you build, there has to be an end for it. Okay? So that end, what happens to your building material? So what happens to cement? Where you will go dump all this? You can't put cement and you can't grow a seed on it, right? It's not like earth. Earth is a good product. So that is what you are seeing in this chart. So next is the gas. So whatever the methane emissions we do, whatever the how much poultry we consume, the gas will eventually increase. But even we are emitting by consuming certain things. So we have to change our lifestyle. Basically, this gas thing has to come from the lifestyle, and oil and coal. So when I'm coming to oil is like people travel from place to place.
Excuse me, Judah, are we still on the air slide? Have you changed slide?
No, ma'am. I'm still on the air slide. I'm talking about oil. Okay, fine.
Yes.
I'm talking in the right chart. If you notice, cement, gas, oil. Then you have coal.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So eventually, we are our oil usage levels are like pretty much going higher rather than it's going. It's right time to I will not promote certain things, but it's right time to rethink on what you buy. That is where consumer has to be like aware of what products they're using and what they're benefiting out of it. And coal, if you take Tamil Nadu or whatever places in India, like most of them have like coal-based energy stations. So eventually we burn coal, okay, which is a non-renewable source, and you take it from earth and you try to burn it and you get the energy out of it, and your house gets lights and electricity basically. So any day our usage levels will go down? No, right? So the usage levels are going up, and on the whatever the damage already coal has been cost is like very high. So still now I think we are using the 50% or 60% more energy from the coal even in Tamil Nadu. So we have to have certain habits of switching off lights, and we have to decide what kind of energy we are using at homes, like whether it is from the solar grid panel or it is from you take your food and you convert it into gas and you convert into energy for your home, or what kind of electricity you are using. there can be some change. Can you introduce some change in it? Then this coal usage will go down eventually. So there has to be some alternative for it. So, and again, 8% they are saying drop in 2020, the Indian emissions are. But this is all due to the oil usage and other things. Like right now, the industry is not working well. Like the cement usage will be like moderate, and your gas and oil usage will be moderate. But you imagine your coal, like daily the houses are running over here, and the usage of coal will be like, if you're not searching any alternative for our own buildings or our own clients, whichever we are going to design, then eventually the rate will go again high. So what these things are doing to the air, like these much of carbon emission will cause what? That is the next question. Okay, we have so much of carbon emission talking about, and what will cause? If you take a ride in a city and if you come back and you have not done some extreme workouts or any extreme work in a day, eventually you go to a place and sit and come back, but you will feel tired, right? Some days you will feel like headache or nausea. These things are caused by these kind of emissions which are directly let into the air. So you have to check the indoor air quality, okay, and the outdoor air quality in and around, in every certain in a micro level, not in a macro level. They will say like Chennai is having this amount of emission or this amount of air quality in this particular zone. It has to be in every area. Like if you have like every 100 meters or 500 meters square, you have to have that, you have to have that reading. So when you have the reading, you will know what is causing it, what is causing this air pollution, and what is happening in and around in different places. When you keep in a rural area and when you keep in an urban area, what's happening? So you have to, statistically document all this data, and then only you can understand what's happening in and around. So, and if you same thing, like if you see another chart also, it's like similar. Like if you have cement usage, like and coal usage, oil usage, and the emissions of different countries like India, European countries, US, and China. So next topic is about both, like air and water, and so these are the if you see this this map, you will know like the two red areas like has like two high level of water pollution levels in different states. And the thing is, everybody approaches every land in the same way. Like if you okay, right now, what kind of water source we are using for our homes? Bore, right? Bore, water bores. And what it has to be, used to be like wells. And whatever the on table water which we are using is like a clean water, which was like top of the land, like 20 meters or 10 meters or 15 meters, 30 meters, 40 meters, like that. But eventually what we are doing, we are putting like 200 feet bore, 500 feet bore, 1000 feet bore, and we are sucking up the water from the very low point of earth, where eventually we have done this, everybody would have done this study in your lab, where you will put the the metal balls in oil, where the viscosity of the liquid will be, when it's higher, the particle will go down slower. So imagine how hard particles will be below that 500 feet level, where you compare it with a 50 feet well. So why we are closing the wells in Tamil Nadu? Does it had anything do with the well-being? No, we have not thought about well-being. It's all about the land value. That is again, like everything. If you compare, if you will come back to economy or you will come back to this thing. So land value was high. Okay. Next, the population level was high. Okay. So once you try to close all these water bodies and wells, and you start introducing this bore wells and other concepts. Imagine a bowel can't be closed once it's open. Okay, so what damage we have done already? It's like too much. So you have to think. Never, I've never seen a person who talks about water strategy to a client. If here people are like, if you want to go to a board, okay, well, let go. And norms, again, come to norms permit. When you ask permission, we will give the permission, and we take some certain amount of money for it, right? And eventually today we are buying in water tankers, right? You're polluting, again, you're burning a fossil fuel, and you're bringing the water from one water body to another, to your home. Okay, and again you treat it, again you spend some energy to treat it, and again you consume it. Okay, again you put one extra aquaguard at your home and you consume it. So better you go for one well and one shot solution, that is like from bottom to top solution, where you will not end up in such major things. Same thing when I have said about the micro level of it. When you compare it with the macro level, how the state manages this water bodies, how the state manages the industry, which are letting the sewage water or the sewage water, whatever water they're letting into these water bodies. What's happening to this species in the water? The amount of oxygen we get through the water levels go down, and eventually you will end up having stale water bodies rather than life in it. So if you see this graph, they are pinpointing. If you take this redder paths, will have more amount of industry based development, and you can't see very less color in many of the states where the water is good. If you travel across India and if you check, like most of the waters will be like affected by salt, or it will be affected by some sort of chemical in it. So that is what has been stated in this news article too. Okay, so level of major air pollution already we have seen, but these few chemicals, they are noting it down, and these are the levels. Like if you take Kolkata, red; Chennai, blue; Bengaluru, green; Mumbai, you have the indigo color, purple; then Delhi, yellow. So these are the levels which you see, like SO2, NO2, PM10, and PM25. What are these? I will explain now. So SO2 is like sulfur dioxide. Okay, this is sulfur dioxide. This is nitrous oxide. Okay, and PM10 is like whatever particle you inhale in 10 micrometers and smaller. Okay, and PM 2.5 is like very fine particle which we take it in our lungs. So in this pandemic, we know that what is the demand of oxygen which we are going through. Okay, and we are the cause of it. We only cause such situations, like certain situations. Okay, so what has been caused, we have to pay for. That is what it's happening. So they say these are the common issues out of it. The end is like you will get like 1.8% of lung cancer or diabetes. Like now people are facing with this very new term in the middle of the cities, where if you see any elder person or maximum number of elder persons will have this disease, diabetes. why we are consuming all packed products, and every packed products has every packed product, if you convert into an energy inside your body, it will be converted into sugar. Any factory made product, if your body will absorb as sugar. It will not absorb as fiber, protein, or any other source. It will absorb as sugar. So when it comes to food, I'll come to food. But before that, again, your hair itself can cause diabetes and stroke and heart diseases, respiratory issues, uncertain things. So we have to be like aware of what is happening in and around, physically and nature wise. So these are the deaths which are like happening in diarrhea, due to diarrhea. These are the amounts. So, and same thing, like they have done with the cities, like city based, like Chennai, you have Bengaluru, you have Kolkata, you have Mumbai, then Delhi. And next topic will be like forest and land cover. So as I said earlier, like in 1980s and before that, we had more of croplands. Okay, we had more of croplands. And so this left image is like a little bit confusing. So this right image is from ISRO. It's a current status of green cover we have. Imagine the white land parcel we have used. Green we have. There are sponge which will water. It'll take all the water in it, and it'll sink the heat of the nearby places. It'll give oxygen in the day, okay, and it'll take the carbon dioxide in the night. And imagine the ratio of it. What is happening? So previously we were like 100%, like before the industry we were like 80% of the people who were in agricultural lands, who were farming. That was the main occupation, and slowly it turned towards like urban lifestyle. After your industrial revolutions, people started moving inside the city, and that's why you see this amount of green right now. So this is when we talk about environment, and when we see our forest percentage to the other land parcel, then we are like in a very lower stage. So next is like pesticide usage. So the trends of pesticide usage is like eventually it was like from 90s or 80s. If you take 1800 or 1900, it will be like almost like similar pattern. And when it comes to 90s and 2000 also, it will be like similar pattern. But you will see a slope after this 2000, because we need land for building homes and other infrastructure. So what happened? We reduced the land where we if you see like the pesticide consumption level has not gone down, but you will see like slight difference in the graph dip. But still we are using in a pretty good amount where we have not reduced so far. So these things are like whatever edibles we are consuming in day-to-day basis, like whatever you buy in the market in day-to-day basis will have all these pesticides in it. Okay. So this is a report from IFCA, Indian Federation of Culinary Association. Can go through that. So most toxic vegetable or any green you can find in the market is mint and coriander, which will be used by both like vegetarians, vegans, non-vegetarian, whomever. Like if you make a rasam out of it, like mint and coriander, you need. No. If you go to countries which I stated before, they used to if they are in an apartment also, they will have some 4 pots. They will have mint, coriander, everything. Individual couple will grow and they will consume it. The basic microgreens or greens. That is the lifestyle which they are leading. But we followed a lifestyle called as supermarkets, markets, but we forgot the way of living which we had before. And so India has like 120 million farmers, and we have a death in every half an hour. Okay, so why there is means like economically they are not stable. Okay, their land being plucked by the other industrial, which has revenue graph. And so that's why out of this 70% of the 100% of the population, when you get a survey, out of it like 40% are not interested to do in the farm. And when the person is not right now, 1 hectare per farmer is the was the graph before, like was the thumb rule like thing before, but right now it has like shrunk. Like 70% of the whole 100% have less than 1 hectare. That means they have like more kids, so they have to the land parcel being divided, and they will eventually shift to a city. So they will sell the land parcel and they will shift to the city. So once the land is sold, agriculture purpose will change to some farming, like animal farming or many different purposes. It'll meet. So so the level of the land parcel is also continuously changing, by this pattern. So everybody will go to a you will see a fancy sugarcane shop in every retail shop or kiosk in front of any supermarket or something like that, where you will get the sugar juice for 20. Produce 1 kilo sugar cane, and how much a liter cost for you in that same retail shop? 20 rupees. And how a farmer will pour 500 to 3,000 liters and get few penny amount, and they have to sell it to market, and those distributor will get very less price from him, but he has to go to that same market. If he's producing tomato for some 1 rupee or 2 rupee, he has to go buy other products from the market for his own family, right? So imagine the water level a sugarcane is consuming and how much we pay for it. So that is what it's happening with the food. So what the food we are eating, it's not regulated. It's not regulated, or it's not like properly checked or permitted. So that is what a report which was by IFCA. Okay, and the next part is like economy. So what are the GDP? What is GDP? Like gross domestic product. So whatever the market inside the India, we are so there are a few sectors. Okay, primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. So primary sector, it will be like whatever you make out of this fishery and out of this land, crop, everything. It's like it will be like primary source from maybe from Indian Ocean. We are catching so much of fish and we are consuming. It will come in primary. So same, like there are many sectors in it, like secondary, tertiary. So this every sector joins together and like overall domestic production. Okay, and if you see since 2010, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now we are in 20, 21. So still you are not stable. Your graph is not stable. That means what? You are not sustainable. This is the image which I have showed for the where imagine you are sitting in that and you have reduced your ecological leg. You are not good socially. There are still people who are neglected. Still you have systems which divide people in certain ways, and socially we are not sustainable, and economically it's going low. So everything has to do with this sustainable practices. So when you guys have heard climate classification, okay, I have this climate classification with the image of this image of the city. So if you compare cities, can you find any difference in these cities? So if you take climate classification, you have in Himachal you have cold and sunny, you have cold and cloudy, okay, moderate like Bangalore, okay, then composite like Delhi or Hyderabad, warm humid like Tamil Nadu or Kerala. Kerala will be more humid than Tamil Nadu because you have more rainfall. And then comes the hot and dry. Okay, hot and dry again, it will be your deserted areas. Okay, like Jaisalmer and other things. So so what I'm trying to say here is when you have different climate and different microclimates in it. It's not even climate. When you are designing a plan, when you go for case studies, you go for case studies, building which is like this, which is okay, you say green building, okay, fine. They have good planning, they have good material in it, they have good renewable energy strategies and devices in it. But again, they have inspired from the vernacular architecture. That is the base of everything. Vernacular is the base of everything. So once you forget your root, the bottomest part, okay, eventually everything will look like the same. So that is what is happening right now. Every city has a same image. Every city has a they are using the same material. They are using cement. If you see all the buildings, they would have used cements, right? They are using tar for the road. Same, okay. Only difference is the name of the city, not the how we design or what strategies we approach, or whether we have to cut down the humidity or whether we have to heat up the building or cool up the building. We never thought about all these things in past few days. So past few years. So I think so. I think these things are matter to sustainable architecture. It's like a base. When you read cold and sunny, the climate properly, then you can design a better building in such a place. And if you read the warm and humid climate properly, then you will understand the base of it, and when you will design it in a particular way, and you will not end up in the same building. Definitely, you will not end up in the same kind of image for all the cities. It will be different. Definitely different. It will be. So if you take Chennai has 8.5 crore population, okay, and total India, if you take 1,392 million. So eventually our population will grow. Our population will not come back. Okay. So once it grows rapidly, and our usage and our patterns are very different. So Chennai has when I was a kid, the Chennai, the climate and the temperature was totally different. I believe most of the people who are elder here can understand that. When I was young, like 10 years back or 15 years back, the temperature here was completely different, like 35 degrees or maximum 38 degrees. And if you take inside Tamil Nadu, if you take Chennai will be different, Madurai will be different, Kodaikanal will be different. Every places will be different. So there is a micro climate, okay, inside the climate classification, what they are giving us. So so each site is like each site should have a different approach to it. Okay. So this is a news article which says like morning temperature is like 3 to 4.5 degrees higher within the city than the outskirts. That means when you travel towards your native place or something like that, when you cross the city, it's like 4.5 degrees lesser than the city in the morning. In the morning means there is no source of energy which has done the cause of that heat. It is like a re-radiating heat from the material which caused by the before day, or the sources of the heat will be different, like from the materials we are using. So yeah, so the same thing we study as urban heat island, where we will see a slope in the end of the rural area, and we see the hike in the middle of the city, where the densely packed area will have more heat. So when you plan a site, when you design a site, it need not be in a such a way, in compacted, in a in a such a way like climate like Chennai, where you already it's warm, it's already humid. So our goal should be is like cut humidity when it's like more, and circulate air, radiation level are high. So as you see the vernacular buildings, it will have huger walls, right? Huge walls, thicker walls, where the radiation will not come in. By the evening 5 it will go out. Now we follow some schemes or some book knowledge, where we go for certain construction methodologies, where we started using every wall like 230 mm, 300 mm brick wall to put segregate it, or plaster it and then paint it to whatever. Same thing is like happening overall in all the places, right? Then when your strategies are not different, then 4.5 degrees can go like 10 degrees also. Like it slowly, it will gradually, it will gain its strength. So it's like how we design and treat our neighborhoods, and when you plan a site, what has to be, how much green cover has to be there, and what kind of water source you have, and how you are going to treat the terrace. In Chennai, you see most of the terrace, it's like open, right? So the top floor will be like more radiating floor compared to the others. And you see like most of the places, they would have placed like east-west, the longer span of the building will be like east-west. It's not bad to keep in the east-west, because the maybe the site condition would be like that. But what kind of strategy we use to cut down the heat which is coming through the east-west or the north-south matters. Like when they don't know about how the sun path works, or they never do any simulation kind of works, then they end up they are not going for any design hydrations, multiple hydrations, where you compare your own building in a different state of form. Like let's take a home, okay? Let's design in like 10 ways and try to simulate it, and we try to get the better results out of it. So definitely from the first design, the 10th design will be the mutation, or the strategies will be totally different. So why we are not doing that? that is where the whole thing is about. Everybody goes to a shop right now, retail. They want to do certain kind of interior. They want to do certain kind of home. And it's general client mentality where they ask like, I want to be like my neighbor or my relative or something like that. So that is what causing all this. So like, from the years, like how the temperature is like fluctuating, like so the average temperature and the maximum temperature, you see like maximum it's like going to 43. What it will happen to 50? What it will happen when it's like 55? What Chennai? I'm talking about Chennai. It's not some Thar desert or it's some Arab nation. So what will happen? It will become hot and dry. It will eventually become the climate. You're changing the microclimatic condition of the place by the every site has a bad strategy. Eventually, when the whole bad strategy is a whole collective bad strategy as a place. So eventually, you are heating up the whole city. No, you are caring about the indoor air temperature, where your human comfort level has to be like 27, and you use air conditioning like enormously, and you spend up more energy, and eventually you are in that cycle. Already you are in that cycle. So once you stop and understand and you monitor your building, what's happening inside that, what is our electricity bill, what's happening, why it's going wrong, what kind of devices we are using, whether it's useful or necessary or not useful, all these things matters. And same like I said before, like how it's a box only. Everybody's designing a box. So what's happening inside the box, what's happening outside the box, how the external temperature varies, how the internal temperature varies, how it varies in the morning, afternoon, and the evening, different hours, different months we have, right? Like we have January will be different, December will be different, and you take May will be different. But architecture is a static object. You can't change it permanently with this kind of material. So what happens when the building is too permanent and too solid, and extra to that you put concrete to that, and you make sure that it stands for a longer period, and it does too much damage in and around the building, and everything. So these are the things matters a lot. And this chart shows like how many number of days it's like lesser or equivalent to greater or equivalent to 40. So these data are from TNEB, where this chart is one good one. I'll say like this amount of energy we are consuming by wind and solar panel, biomass 100, biogas 165. So total like million watts we are using, like 5,265 million watts we are using as an renewable power. This is good. This is at least good. But what we are doing, what we did previously, and what we are slowly adapting. There is this change in this. So I feel happy about this. But if you see the coal usage to the to the renewable usage, you compare this. 13.4% is coal usage, and 10.6% is renewable usage. And this renewable usage is the investment we make. It's a nation. It's like each state's investment which they make. It will not change. So in this chart, you see like blue is requirement. Red is requirement is what we require, what power we require throughout the city, the Tamil Nadu, what it requires, the people requires. Okay, what is the availability? What can government produce? That is the availability out of what? Coal, gas, diesel, hydro, nuclear, renewable. renewable, right? So, and there is some deficit. There is some slope like 1 to 2%, 3%, 8%, 6%, 7% land. What does that deficit means? Like any day we are not going to reduce our usage. That is the deficit. We will not reduce our usage. Eventually, a government can't do this for whole this consumerable usage. So eventually each side has to have some kind of renewable power, or some thought process about it, how our energy is, what base or what source of energy we are using. So these things matters a lot when it's like from micro to macro. Again, I'm saying, like, when you do it in a micro, when some 100 people does, it will make a good impact. When 1,000 or 10,000 people, it will make it a great effect. So it's like that. When you progress, you can see a good result out of it. So that is what it all about, like how we consume our energy. And this 13.4% is that full emission plus this gas. Again, like in total 30.1, like 20, almost like 19% we are based on like non-renewable source only still. If you take in 100%, like only 16% is out of 100 is renewable, which can government. I think government is like introducing schemes right now where you can you will get solar panel for subsidy and other things. For it will be like benefiting your management or organization or your home. So you can read about all these things, how these renewable things can be introduced in a particular project. So these are the future predictions by Indian Network on Climate Change Assessment, where there will be like change in weather patterns, cyclonic disturbance will happen, like sea level rise, change in agricultural yields, change in freshwater supply, impact on forest and natural ecosystem, impact on human health. So if you take this climate vulnerability chart, lowest will be like Ghats, like the forest which we have is like lowest, and the few places in the top. And again, this is a simulation. A simulation can be like 99% right or 99% wrong also. It can go either side. Simulations are not a stable thing. It's like speculation only. So again, temperature change by 2085, what they are expecting, and how heavy rainfalls will be. Like you see, like in Tamil Nadu, few regions will get like no rainfall at all, and some parts will get like very heavy rainfall. And if you see, these places will be like more, like 3.5 degree higher compared to other places, and Tamil Nadu and other region will be like 3 to 2 degree higher. In 2085 they are saying, but whatever we are causing, I feel like 2030 is like, it's my own expectation. So it can vary. So these are done by this source, like the Indian Network for Climate Change and Assessment. So, and they are saying there will be definitely a change. So and you will have like glaciers melting. So you will end up the rise in water level in your sea. So eventually the seaside, the land parcel will be like cut. So nation like Singapore are doing, what they are doing is like they are increasing their land parcel. So they are building like a fortress where they say very good material is earth. A country like Singapore is saying material like earth is a better material. So why they say? Because they have very less land parcel and they can they can't go outside the boundary. So So same things the impact will happen over here, where we can't take care of all our boundaries, with the water body. We can't do that for so much stretch. We can't lift up the land, right? So that will be not a good strategy. So what we are going to do? So like a nation like this with a huge population compared to US, which is going right similar as US, and you in consuming things, and the lifestyle is similar. So how it will change? So same things again. You will have soil erosion in coastal areas, like extreme weather, extreme tides. Tides can come even more inland, and your land can be occupied by by the sea. So and if you will lose few lands which are like islands in and around our place, where these people will be socially neglected by all, because if you have no land, you have like no uh, you know you should have a land to, and you should have a paper to make sure you are not a refugee, right? So that will happen. So where that people, that population will go where, that government will go where. So similar things will these are the predictions which are made by so in the warmer season they are expecting 2 degree or 4 degree extreme rise, and increase in rainfall, cyclonic disturbances as similarly happening right now, and sea level rise. Freshwater supply will already is down, but even more it will go down. And same way your forest and ecosystem, in forest and ecosystem, it will be like eventually the same, because we are already dumping too many things in like these forest and ecosystem. So what we give will be the same what we expect out of it. So next is like human health. So we will have like high water or other borne diseases, or through heat or stress, or socially, or physically, or you like COVID, you will end up drying some forest. You will not know, like some virus is like getting on top of Earth's surface from those old when the glaciers melt, or when you cut down a forest for some purpose, then eventually the top layer will get eradicated, and you will get similar kind of viruses out of which was in the history. That's the thing. And yeah, reduced agricultural productivity. So okay, I want to talk about my internship experience with Bhumija Creations. When I approached them, they were building their office in Kerala. So it was like a rural area where I used to stay in a place called Abhayam, home. So basically, it was a sustainable community for old people and leftover people in the community. So there will be like homes for the people, which will be the outside street lights will be active till 6 o'clock. After 6 o'clock, no lights will be there in the outside. So if I want to go, I have to go by phone torch or something like that. It will be like a big community. Like it will be like in acres, in the middle of the acre. It will be like in the center. I will have like a huge farm which they produce their own rice, own vegetable, and they have their own cows, where the mentally challenged kids will be like taking care of cattle. When I say mentally challenging people, means socially people are throwing them out of their house, okay, due to this circumstance, or due to their physical disability. So these kids are like working with the cattle, and they are leading a good life over there. And I see like old people are working in the garden and fetching water from the well, and I stayed in a 300-year-old mud house, so it was like very old and huge. It has like huge walls in it, and I was like very surprised, like 300-year-old building. How it will be like? So I never took a room in Kerala, or I never stayed in any place. I went to that home where these leftover people were there. So I stayed over there with them, and I had whatever they offered me, and um, you know, I never. It was very humid, but I never required any sort of air conditioning or anything there. I felt the comfort over there. Maybe few lighting levels were down inside that place, but again, it was good. It was pretty good than the building, the apartments or houses which we stay in Chennai or in and around our cities. So coming into this office, so only RCC, sorry, only cement made material was the plinth. This plinth. The bottom one was like laterite stone, which was like laterite is like if you cut from the laterite soil, if you cut and you expose to the outer surface, it will become like a stone. That is laterite stone. You get laterite stone out of laterite soil. Okay, so they eventually made a laterite foundation out of that land, like no carbon emission, no vehicle traveling from outside to inside to bring any material. So only thing they did was this plinth, because when you have heavy rains, considering that they want a design strategy to be played in there. So only the this plinth was the RCC member, and again all the walls has 0% cement in it. Okay, there was no cement usage in this site. So workers used to work like 8 hours, only 3 labors for this office, whole office, 3 labors, 8 hours work. It was carried out like 2 years where they had two rains, heavy rains. Still they made up and they completed office like few years back. I stayed that like a month, more than a month. So they completed very like to next year to that. So it was like hard human work, but what they did made me happy rather than working in a commercial place where they don't care about east or west or what they were designing, and they never know what they are doing. So I was happy about all the experience which I got from this particular place. So basically what we'll do, like we will take the earth from the site, receive it, we mix it with lime, stabilize it. Lime is like from lime, basically we will get easily lime from our sea coast, seashells and other things. If you calcinate it, you will get lime. So you mix it with the lime, sieve it, mix it with lime, and whatever desired color you want, add oxide to that, done. Then you have to ram it. That's it. It's a rammed earth wall. So that is the simple procedure, but it will take a longer time to do that. It's like it's like handmade work. It's not like you buy certain materials and out of 2-3 months or like 1 year you will get one luxury place. It's not like that. It will take 2 years. It will take 2.5 years. You will not know what's happening with the nature, right? So this when I was doing internship over there, I started understanding the office by I myself did a 3D, and then maybe I checked how this cross ventilation, how the walls work, how they treated the east west, everything. I myself engaged, and I was observing things, and how this technically how they make this when you have the slope roof, how they make this the triangular portion of that in through rammed earth, and they bought only the roof from the shop. They bought the the steel frames, and that's it. They just bought the steel frames from the shop. They bolted it with fish plate. They welded it, and tiles they will get, yes, roof tiles they will get from the local dealer, and they will use bamboo and other things too. And this is the output. Output of that project was this. This is the architecture firm of them, like Bhumija Creation. So this when I was working with them, it made me totally see things in a different way. What people are doing over here and what these people are doing was totally new to me, and it drifted me. So even when I was doing sustainable architecture course from Satyabama, so I had huge experience, huge knowledge from the people over there, and this Bhumija Creation was a huge impact for me. And the principal architect used to take us to different sites where we worked on bamboo. We made our own. We made one bed for one resort. We tried and explored. This is the bed making process, and street lights we made out of bamboo, and light fixtures, and and I felt like, okay, we are making something which will go back to the nature, and it will have an end period to it at least. Okay, we know the short end of it. So when I came back, and when my friend approached me, and I thought of doing freelancing projects over here in Chennai. So this was my first architectural project, and when I was talking with my friend, this was the road I used to go to school in 6th. So when he asked me, like, already he had this house in ground floor house where it had one ATM, and it was like 1,000 feet, either side it had building, and the back side also it had the building. And I was wondering how I will cut the wind, or how the cross ventilation or daylighting will work in this building.
Okay. Excuse me, Judah sir. The session is exceeding the time limit. Can we wrap it up?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We'll wrap it up.
In a couple of minutes, yeah.
Yeah, ma'am. Couple of minutes, I'll wrap it up. So eventually, I promised him, like, we will make something out of regular material. So I convinced him for Poratham, which is like, that time it was like rated by Griha, I believe, but was not. Again, it was not too sustainable. I'll say it's a green material. Again, we tried, exploring things, and eventually they had good ventilation. Their electricity bill went down from 6,000 to 1,500 rupees. So that was the output we made. So that's it. Thank you, people. Thank you all.
Now you can, if there are any questions, you can ask them now. You can even mention them in the chat box.
Yes.
If anyone has a question, you can. The floor is open now.
Yes, I think Pavitra will give the vote of thanks for architect Judah Michael now.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. So, good evening all. I'm Pavitra from third year, and I deem it a great honor to present the vote of thanks this evening. On behalf of the college management, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Judah, who is a great explorer of sustainable architecture, for not only sparing his invaluable time with us this evening, but for also enlightening us with this commendable topic of sustainable architecture. Thank you, sir, for clarifying and enlightening us with such interesting concepts, and for also enhancing our knowledge pertaining to the topic. Thank you so much for such an interesting seminar, sir. I would also like to thank the college management, our respected dean, principal design chair, and HOD, and also teachers for taking such efforts to conduct such interesting seminars. Also, I'd like to thank all of you who made it to the seminar today and helped make it a success. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening.